Customer's always right, customer's always right.
Okay.
Not with government funds. The government is
Okay.
always right. Even when they're wrong, they're still right. Like
Okay.
even when they give you the money incorrectly, you shouldn't have gotten that money. You got the money and you spent it. You're going to have to pay that money back once they find it.
Happy New Year, everyone. This is our first episode of the year of Financial Fraud Friday. I want to welcome you guys back. Welcome, welcome. For those of you that are new, welcome to Financial Fraud Fridays. This is a bi-weekly conversation that Kerrina and I have where we discuss some of the most recent fraud cases. We discuss the facts, our thoughts. And again, and we just kind of break it down based on our personal opinions. So I'll let Karina hit you guys with the disclaimer.
Oh, yeah. So, disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. This is not legal, tax, or financial advice. All information discussed comes from public court filings, news reports, press releases, and articles. Everyone discussed is presumed innocent until proven guilty in court, as well as any advice that we give for tax purposes is opinion based and for educational purposes only. While we are tax professionals, we're not your tax professionals, but we can be. Book the link in the bio. Back to Nikkei to tell us what
We
the
can
summary
be.
is.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
All
like, I gotta
right,
make
you
sure we
guys.
add that.
If you're not familiar with us, my name is Nikkei Togba. I am the owner of Togba and Associates, a tax planning and advisory firm that focuses on entrepreneurs and professionals. We provide the support you need so that you can confidently take control of your taxes. Our services include bookkeeping, tax preparation, and advisory services. If you would like to work with me in the future, feel free to visit togbenassociates.com to get more information.
Okay, and I'm Kerrina O'Connor, the owner and founder of Cake Financial, where we help six-figure solopreneurs resolve their IRS problems so they can run their business with confidence. And our include helping people with tax debt that they cannot pay in full, as well as helping them file back taxes that they haven't filed for the last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 years. So if that sounds like you've been putting things off, you getting those IRS letters, please book a link in my bio.
All
And Nikkei, back
right.
to the summary.
Oh, God. Okay, you guys. So, our first one of the year, and we are discussing today. This one is taken from an Office of Public Affairs, U.S. Department of Justice press release. This one's happening in Florida. We are
In
going to start
Florida.
taking this tick. We're going to start ticking where they
Yeah.
happen because Florida might be winning. You might have Atlanta beat, okay? But this one is from a press release dated November 19th of 2025. So this is concerning a Congresswoman, Sheila McCormick. You've probably already heard of this. She has been charged with stealing. No, I don't like that word. She's been charged with, I'm going to just use directly what's from the
Mm.
press release, charged with stealing $5 million in FEMA funds and making illegal campaign contributions. Okay, the
Mm.
charges she faces include theft of government funds, making and receiving straw donor contributions, aiding and assisting a false and fraudulent statement on a tax return, and money laundering, as well as conspiracy charges associated with each of these counts. Okay. And so, background on this, on what happened is that, let's see, that they've got a date, or one of the articles, we've got a date of on July 1st, due to what the Florida Department of Emergency Management calls a clerical error. An
Mm.
invoice was sent by Trinity Healthcare, which is Miss McCormick's. This is her healthcare company that she runs and manages, apparently with her brother. So an invoice was submitted by their company for $50,578.50 to be paid out. Due to a clerical error, the Florida Department of Emergency Management actually paid out $5,057,850. That's what was paid out. Okay. In June of, and what I found to be very significant, Karina, and I'm sure that you caught this too, in June of 2024, the Florida Department of Emergency Management noticed the clerical error that caused the overpayment. And requested that they return the funds. Trinity refused, and the two sides agreed to mediation. They went into mediation, and the case was voluntarily dismissed by the Florida Department of Emergency Management in May. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, so though that's the basic background of the case. Thoughts, Kerrina?
Lots of thoughts. 2024. Like
Oh, well,
my
what do you mean when you say 2024?
2024 is when, like 2021 is when the clerical error, and I'm using the term loosely because it based on the numbers, it does look like it was a clerical error.
Okay.
From $50,000 is the invoice that Trinity sent to, it's not FEMA, it's
5 million. $5,057 800 and excuse me, $5,057,850 was what they ended up paying.
ended up giving to them to
Right.
Trinity, but the invoice said 50,000.
Correct.
They just added the two extra zeros to help them pay that, so I can see how it could be a clerical error there.
Okay.
Fine. Does Florida, whatever, is it FEMA?
This is no, the Florida Department of Emergency Management.
Okay, so the Florida Division of Emergency Management, why don't they have any type of like checks and balances in place in the sense of, because when I was in corp life, once it
Okay.
hits a certain dollar amount, everyone's signing. CEO, CFO, whatever, CEO. Everyone's signing. There's
Mhm.
no, we're not gonna, once it hits a certain dollar amount, everyone has to see it, which is why things take so long sometimes because you're trying to get a hold, but 50,000 to 5 million, and they didn't notice it until 2024. From 2021, I'm hoping that they have some checks and balances in place just off the strength of that, because that's a $5 million
I see
mistake.
what you're saying.
That's
I
a
see
five
what you're
million dollar
saying.
mistake. Like,
Oh,
that's
oh, that's not
crazy.
a good. You're basically that's not a good look,
That isn't a good look, and
right?
especially because this is government funds. So
Right. So you're judging her for supposedly mismanaging government funds, but
they also
who
did too.
started this? So did you. You did the same
Yeah,
thing.
they did too. They did too. Now, mind you, hers is worse. Like, hers is worse. You sent an invoice for $50,000. Ooh, you don't talk
Now
to me.
go ahead, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go
You
ahead.
know you
Mhm.
spent, you sent an invoice for $50,000. You
Okay.
you know it. You know
Fair
it. You
enough.
know it as a government contractor. And then they
Fair
said
enough.
in the contracts for being a government contractor, it says that if you if the government does give you funds, you are supposed to let them know and give the money back.
Okay, fair enough.
And this is kind of like an unspoken rule with anything government related. Because I remember when I was working in financial aid, and that's one thing about the government. Like, you know how, like, customers always right.
Okay.
Not with government funds. The government is
Okay.
always right. Even when they're wrong, they're still right. Like,
Okay.
even when they give you the money incorrectly, you shouldn't have gotten that money. You got the money and you spent it. You're going to have to pay that money back once they find it.
Okay.
That's
Fair
it.
enough.
That's
Fair
it.
enough.
What are you?
Fair enough. Here's my thing. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so if because I have to, you're right. I do
Yeah.
have to put some of the blame on what are they, Trinity? Is that what they're called?
Trinity is her company.
Her company. I have
Sheila
to put
company.
some of the
Yeah.
blame on Trinity. Yeah, come on. You know good and doggone well.
A
$5 million is a
million.
long way from $50,000. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But here's the catch to me. You guys went to arbitra mediation.
Mm-hmm.
They they voluntarily dismissed it. And when I say they, I mean the Florida Department of Emergency Management. So
Mm-hmm.
you did what legally you went through the process that you guys agreed to go through. You
Mm-hmm.
voluntarily dismissed the case, meaning the 5 mil is theirs now. You
No,
voluntarily. No, is that not what that means?
Mm-mm.
Correct me. Okay,
Settlement.
let's
They
see.
did a settlement. So the settlement was, let me say, is actually for they settled out of court.
Okay.
So they had a mediation, whatever, kind of thing, but they agreed to a settlement to pay back the money over 15, like I think it was over 15 years, but I think it was let me go look at like one of the things.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
over
So they still
15
have to
years.
pay
So
it back.
they still with interest. So basically they got a $5 million, I mean, they got a $5 million loan with interest, basically. That's the best way I can say it. So it is they have to pay back 5.6 million. So the first
Hmm.
$25,000 due April 2025, the second 25,000 May 2025, and
Oh,
then 92K has to be due before January 2nd, which is tomorrow. Well, based on how us recording this video, and then 92,000 for each quarter for 15 years until the settlement amount is paid in full. So they're getting their money back
so they're
with
getting the
it
money back.
with interest. And the amount before, I want people to remember it was about $5 million, like closer to
5
$5
million.
million,
Yeah,
and they
five
have to
million
pay back
fifty-seven thousand.
5.6. So about $600,000 extra for the within the next 15 or so years.
Okay.
So
All right.
yeah, they're not letting it go. They're not letting it go. They
So
just
they're not, okay. So they're not letting her I was going to say that's very generous
no, they're not
to
letting they're
voluntarily
not letting it
dismiss
go. They're not
it.
letting it
I was
slide.
going to say, oh, that's some, I mean,
Yeah, they
five
had
mil, that's
a
generous.
mediation
I've never
settlement
heard
agreement.
anything like that before. Okay, I should have known that that was just far-fetched. I was like, wait, what?
No, yeah, they're not letting go.
Okay. So, okay, so they do have to pay it back.
They have to pay back. They have to pay back.
But you know what? I mean, God, both of them are at fault here, though.
They are. They are. They are
Both
both.
parties are at
Both
fault.
parties in this
You
regard. They
know, Trinity Healthcare, personally, for me, I mean, you're saying government funds, but for anything, you invoice them
right.
$2,000. They sent you $20,000. You know good and God doggone well that ain't yours.
Not your
Just give the
money.
folks back their money and
Just
get
give
your
it back.
$2,000. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? So to me, more ethics,
Hmm.
morals, okay, are missing over there.
Right.
But the Florida Department of Emergency Management has some responsibility to take for this, even though they are
Yep.
even though they get to kind of float their weight around because of course, ultimately, it doesn't matter if we overpaid you, you still got to give us back our money. They're gonna be in the right
Right.
anyway. You still made a mistake. You need to own up to that. So where's
Right.
the conversation about that? Where's the
I agree.
conversation about how did this happen?
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
and unfortunately I didn't do any digging, so maybe there has been conversation, but I
Yeah.
think
And
that
maybe
that's worth
might
conversation.
be internal. Maybe I don't know if they'll necessarily, well, maybe, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if they'll necessarily like explain to the public, like, hey, we're now doing something else to help with that. But I'm hoping internally they now have checks and balances once an amount, at the very least, once an amount hits a certain number, maybe 250,000, 500 something thousand, or whatever the case is, everyone needs to sign to say, oh, why are we paying X, Y, and Z person $5 million?
Yeah.
What's going on? Like, to make sure people are signing off and checking back and then looking at the invoice. And then, because errors do happen. So, anybody
Yeah.
could have just added two more zeros because that's what whomever did, they added those two extra zeros.
Zeros.
But okay,
Yeah,
cool. Now
that's
that we added
possible.
that
That can
two
happen.
extra zeros and it went from 50,000 to 5 million, where are the checks and balances to make sure that that 5 million of cash is not just going out? Because
Yeah.
look how hard it is to get that 5 million back. One, it took three, wait, it was 21. Yeah. It took 3, 4 years for them to find out that the money is missing. That's one. And how do we know that another clerical error didn't happen again, like elsewhere? This just came up because of all of this foolishness that's going on with, well, we're going to talk about with
Misappropriation of funds
right,
and assets,
misappropriation
right?
of funds, but are there other errors that maybe weren't as big as 5 million, but
Right.
still
Who else
made
got
an
paid?
impact? Right. And that
What
still
other
made an
vendor
impact that they
got more
haven't
than they were supposed to get?
caught up yet. Yeah, they
Yeah.
haven't caught up yet. So to make sure that, once the threshold changes, you need to have checks and balances to make sure that whomever it needs to sign off and double check.
And
That's
what's
a
the
lot of money
threshold?
to
Isn't there usually a threshold? I mean, there's usually a threshold where you're like, okay, maybe accounts payable can just sign off and say these things
right.
can
That's
be
what I'm
paid.
saying. Like it
Then
should have
when you
been
start getting to a
something.
certain number, it's like accounts payable and the chief
Where's the
financial officer need to
CFO, the
sign off
CEO? Like
to
there
get
should
this
have
out the door. Now we're talking about $50 million. Hold on. We need three more eyes to say,
right,
this is okay. You sign, you sign, you sign. Okay, this can go out the door. You know what I
right,
mean?
exactly.
But
So
then
that's
again,
them.
mhm.
Oh, yeah, I was like, that's them. But continue what you're gonna say, because I was about to
Well, I
pivot
was
to the
just gonna say during the time of COVID, though, a lot of it was just like we got to get this taken care of. So everything was moving so fast, and funds were just coming, going. I know that's not an excuse, but it
5 million. That's crazy to me. Like that's because that's not even like nobody in their treasury department, nothing. That's cash flow that they didn't necessarily expect. Because like usually, especially with government funds or any type of company, you have like net days, net 30, net 60, net 90 days where treasury is
Mhm.
expecting that this amount of cash flow is coming out on this day.
Okay.
And say Trinity says an invoice, okay, cool. This contractor sent me an invoice for $50,000. I'm expecting only $50,000 to come out this month. But 5 million comes out, like, and nobody blinks an eye for 3 years. That's wild to me.
That
That's
is
wild to me.
that's wild.
That's wild to
That
me.
is wild. Hmm.
Yeah. But I don't
Yeah,
know. I
that
don't want
that
to focus too much on the government now.
yeah,
Because
okay.
Sheila got
Okay,
her
because
own
she
stuff.
yeah, But
Sheila
she's
got her
paying the
own.
money. But here's the thing. That part of it has already been, in a sense, rectified, right? You've already come to an agreement as to how she's going to pay back the funds. So I am
Yes.
confused as to why we're really harping on this when you've already come to an agreement as to how the funds will be repaid. So now are you just trying to ruin her, I mean, opinion,
Reputation.
Nikkei,
Well,
again with her
I see what you
opinion
mean.
and saying what she wants to say? She's already agreed to pay you back. And if she is sticking to the stipulations of the agreement, then she's keeping up her end of the deal. So why then are we putting this on blast?
Prejudice.
Do you know what I mean? Why
That's
are
a
we
good.
talking about this and saying, okay, now here's
That's a
the
good
other thing
question.
that she's being, right. Why is this a thing now when she's already made an agreement? Now, why are we putting her business in the street?
So here it is, right? Yeah, get the business in the street. That's one
Okay.
thing. So they did agree to settle and everything is good in that regard. I think where it's the campaign. The campaign, because remember she is a representative,
I get that.
right? So she's a representative, and what's happening is that 5 million that loan technically now, right? Because she was able to use those funds throughout the years for three
I get
years
that.
before whatchamacallit even, right? That 5 million, they're saying allegedly because of legal purposes, that
Right.
she used those funds to
So,
fund her campaign for her
okay.
even to be in the seat that she's in.
I understand. So,
So what they're
so
saying is, so that part I think is the biggest. It's like, yes, she took back the 5 million. Yes, she's paying the 5 million, but she used those funds to manipulate to get the seat that she's in. That I think why everything is so boom, boom, pow in your face.
mm,
I think that's what that is.
when
Because
did
they were
the
talking
when
about the straw donors and all of that. Like she went,
yeah.
like her campaign that she had from before, they said that she um raised over 100K funding before her winning campaign, right? To her special election campaign to 6 million
Yeah, I
in
saw that.
campaign funds
Okay.
from $100,000. Not to say because I'm a
That's a
proponent of
big variance right
somebody,
there. That's huge.
anything can happen.
Yeah, I
You know what I'm
gotcha.
saying? But from 100K to 6 million,
Yeah, that's a jump.
it doesn't. It doesn't
That's a
sound right.
jump.
And then you got this extra 5 million that you wouldn't have normally gotten. And then that six, you know what I'm saying? Like 6 million
Yeah.
magically appeared in your campaign funds. And that was one of the reasons why
Ouch.
you were
Yeah.
able to beat your people. And I think they said
Component.
maybe
Because
by
she
11
won by what,
votes.
11 votes or something
Yeah, I
like
think
that?
by 11 votes. And it was because of the amount of um because money, money helps because those political campaigns,
I get
advertisements,
it.
and all of that, they add up. So
I get it. And
now it's a question of should you even have been in the seat that you got to
ouch.
based on the
With
money
it,
that you
had you
got
not
from
gotten those extra funds. Oh, that's
the extra
yeah.
funds that you should not have gotten in the
That'll
first
because
place. And
because
then
I
trying
saw
to
that.
put them in different accounts because like this fund goes into this account to goes into that account to goes into that account to give to this person to donate to your campaign fund. Like it's I think that's the reason why we're
Okay.
having this conversation now.
Because
And
I
then
saw
now,
that.
yeah.
And my question was, okay, who can donate? Who can donate to a
Mm-hmm.
Congress, if a federal, who can donate? And it says U.S. Congress
Yeah.
members, they can donate unlimited funds of their own
Mm-hmm.
money, okay,
Mm-hmm.
to their campaign.
Yeah.
Ooh,
And I think
well,
it's like a loan, they can. And then I think donation.
corporations cannot donate though. And I don't know if
They
Trinity is
can.
an
Interesting.
LLC. No, this says, corporations and labor organizations. The Federal Election Campaign Act prohibits corporations and labor organizations from making contributions in connection with federal elections. I could be wrong.
Oh, okay. I
Um,
know that.
this is the information I pulled.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what
Good question.
Trinity is. If it's an LLC, a corp. Unfortunately, I
Oh,
did
yeah.
not
I don't know.
take
It's
a
a good
look
question.
there. But apparently, maybe it has to be a
But
corp
it,
because if
not necessarily. Not
no,
necessarily. Because remember, it's the straw donors thing. So
does she
if it's
pay?
not coming directly for whatever, it's saying, oh, family members or friends of family members are given the money to then donate to the campaign. So it looks like they're the ones that are giving the money as opposed to Trinity or whatever the corporation blah 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 is.
That always okay.
I think
So
that's it.
that always people, if there's a paper trail, understand. If it always blows my mind, I'm like, there's a paper trail. We can see, we can
We can
see
see you.
that, right? I mean, like,
We can
and
see
I'm
your
being
paper.
funny, but I'm just kind of like, as a
Yeah.
forensic accountant or an auditor, or you can trace, this can be traced,
Yeah.
follow the money type deal, right? So when people say sometimes that, oh, they don't know what happened, I'm like, no, you guys just don't want to dig. If you follow the money, you'll know exactly what happened, but you don't want
Hmm.
to in this particular case. You just decide where you want to follow the money. And so, okay, unfortunately, I don't know. In this case
Yeah.
for her, they followed the money. Her tax, it's something to note is that her tax accountant is also being charged for
Charged.
filing a fraudulent tax return.
Hmm.
Um, that, um, I don't know, and I'm gonna, that to me is slightly unfortunate because sometimes as tax preparers, we are able to rely on your word.
Yes.
Even though we
But
have to do some due diligence of asking additional questions. What's your butt?
yes, yes, but that's
Okay.
not the case based on the WLRN article. That's not the
No.
case that I'm
Okay.
understanding here with that. So it seems that her tax accountant that did her thing, they prepared a trial balance for her 2020-21 tax return before. And then in the trial balance, one of the let's say the employees or whatever of that firm had deposits that were owner's distribution, campaign, EC firm, and Sheila personal. And
Labeled.
then Yes. So that was in March of
Oh
2022.
man.
And then
Okay.
in April of that same year, 2022, um, the owner of the firm, Kofi Spencer, says that he asked a different employee to create a second trial balance and then change the deposits to consulting and contractors.
So
So
he
that's not
said,
the case in
so this is, I mean, allegedly he says this,
alleged. That's what the article says allegedly.
that
So
he admitted to creating a second trial balance.
that's what the article says that happened. Not necessarily
Allegedly.
he
Okay.
admitted it, but that's what the article says has happened. So it's not a
Oh man.
situation of, oh, he got
Okay.
these this tax return or he got this P&L. Like his company was the one who prepared the P&L and this trial balance. And then and in addition to that,
Uh,
there was a church where the firm, Kofi Spencer's firm, listed a contribution of $1.2 million to a church in Maryland. And then when the IRS subpoenaed the records for that tax return, the response altered the original tax letter from the church to falsify that she did donate. So that doesn't sound like that's the case for this tax preparer. So
I was ready to fight for. Where'd you get that? What article were you reading? I need that. That's okay. Wait,
WRLON.
what? Okay, because I was kind of digging around, but that's good stuff. That's good stuff right
Yeah, I was
there.
like,
I
this
did
one was
not know
really
that.
detailed.
Oh, dang. I was ready to fight for you, Miss McCormick. I was about to throw be like, no, just
Yeah,
sound right.
that one.
That's what happens when you don't have all the, oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's all really
that's
unfortunate because
unfortunate.
it's all coming to light. They said they're gonna have their arraignment, I think, in January of this
Okay,
year. But yeah, like
that's unfortunate.
it's all unfortunate. And then they said how many years for everybody? She faces up to 53 years in prison if convicted, and her brother 35 years.
Mm.
LeBlanc, the person who was on the campaign thing, up to 10 years.
A campaign
And
manager.
Spencer,
Okay.
campaign manager, yeah.
Okay.
Spencer, the tax preparer, 33 years.
33 years. I was
Up
concerned,
to, up
but
to, up to, up to. All
up
everything is
to,
up
up
to
to.
and of it. Yeah,
Gee.
that's a lot of years. But
Okay.
yeah, it
Okay.
could be, it's like a lot of
Yeah.
this is like coming to light. I'm wondering what happened to break the straw that broke the camel's back to say, oh, let me dig into her thing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, this is
But
politics. Maybe she made,
yeah, maybe she
Nikkei and
did
her
somebody else.
opinions again. Maybe she made somebody mad, or she
She
said
probably did
something
and just
and
said, oh, let's
she
look
said
into
something
you.
at lunch somebody didn't like, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I'm coming for you, lady. I'm
Probably.
taking your whole."
And
I mean, just
uh,
Nikkei and those good opinions. She's gone. You know what
yeah,
I
it
mean?
could be
I
that
don't know.
because
It could be
it's
something
looking
as small as that. I mean, this is
it's
the
looking real
world.
bleak. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
looking real bleak. She maintains her innocence, though. Sheila McCormick maintains her innocence and believes she should have her day in court.
That's it.
Right now she's kind of on like a travel ban, for lack of a better word. She's able to like go to work in the DMV area, and then I think they said to visit her mom in I can't remember what county or whatever in
Okay.
Florida. Um, and that's basically it right now, for traveling purposes. So if it's not work, it's it. I'm actually surprised that she's still maintaining her job,
I hate.
actually.
As well. She should. I think she should.
Yeah, I was like,
I
I'm
think
I'm
she should.
I'm surprised. I'm not saying, I'm just surprised
Oh,
that they
okay. Yeah,
didn't,
yeah.
I think the only thing they said that they removed her from the committee, some whatever committee that she was on as like
Okay.
maybe a president or something like that.
Okay.
But she's still a representative as of now.
Okay. I mean, and again, that's my opinion. I think she
Yeah,
should hold
innocent
her
until
seat.
proven guilty.
If she is, I mean, because, and I don't know, she's your congresswoman, isn't
She
she? She's
is.
your congresswoman,
Which
right?
is
So yes, this is something that she's done that shows bad character. But if the work that she is doing in her seat, in her position, has been good work, who am I? I don't know. You know what I mean?
I don't know either, but
I
to
get
be
you. I do get you. I don't know. But compared to some other people
honest,
sitting
other
and still
people,
holding their seats, why should we tell her she should vacate hers? And now that's just me separating the two topics. I'm not saying
I
that what
understand
she
what you're
did
saying.
was right. I'm simply saying Didn't seem to me like just because what she did was wrong means she should vacate her seat. Because if that's the case,
A lot
a
of people
bunch
should be
of other
vacating.
people need to get up and go too. That's all I'm gonna say. So,
I get what you're saying. So
yeah.
I guess
So,
now to like wrap up in the summary, like what would you say is something that people should be aware of? What should they think of? What should they learn and take? What are the takeaways
what are
from
the
this episode of
takeaways? I
financial fraud?
mean,
Yeah.
well, I'll be honest with you, for the public, I say what are the takeaways? You need to be excuse me, let me not point my finger at you because
Anybody, right?
I am speaking, preaching to myself too. We need to be more involved in in politics and in local politics and it because come on, nobody we should there Florida, you guys there should be a little bit of an uproar. Like, what you talking about 5 million? Where'd it go? What you talking about?
Mm.
You know what I mean? So we need to be more involved because that's a question that needs to be asked. How y'all did you fix that? Who else did you give money to? Somebody needs to be asking those questions. And
It's a
that's
good
not
question.
there, it's not, it's our money that is being funneled, and you know what I mean?
Oh
So
yeah,
to be more involved. That's
that's
my
true.
takeaway. We all, present company included, need to be involved.
I agree with that. I will always and forever agree that we should be more involved, especially in our local elections. Understanding who knowing who our representative is and what we can do and our power in that as well. Like we can everything is public knowledge in the sense of we can email them, we can call their office, we can go to their office and have that conversation and say, hey, I want this, this, and this to happen. You, representative who represents me in Congress, what are you doing to make sure that this is done? And local elections as well. You in my city, you in my county, you in my whatever, whatever, whatever. What are you doing to help me so I can continue to vote for you and not just vote frivolously?
Yeah.
Another thing is that with the yeah, because campaigns are hard, especially, you know what I'm saying? What she did was wrong with the donor and getting all the money and doing all that. What she did was wrong. I want to make that extremely clear. But raising the funds for campaigning is very, very difficult.
Mm.
Uh, and if you want someone, I'm not saying her for per se, but if you want your
Oh,
local person or whatever else to help, make sure that you're not just like you're campaigning in any way that you can for them. If you don't have the money, cool, volunteer your time. If you don't have the time, but you have the money, go ahead and get the money. If you don't have the time, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I got you. I get you. Oh, you're
spread the
saying to become
word,
more active, more involved. Here's
become
a
more
way. If you
active and
can't
more
do it
involved.
financially, here's another way. You can do it with your
Yeah,
time.
do
I got
something
you.
else to
I
make
got
sure
you.
that the person you want in that seat
Okay.
is able to do so because and it's not because of they just didn't have enough money to people
Got
just
you.
didn't know who they are. Like it could be a local guy down the street, your neighbor or whatever, and he could be a really good senator, represent whatever seat, but he doesn't have the funds to do so.
Yeah, I got
And the
you.
people who have the money are the ones that are getting out and getting in front
Mm.
regardless. So that's just I think that's my opinion. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I got
yeah,
you. Well,
yeah.
this is an ongoing case. I am going to keep an eye out for it. Again, these are allegations. She's not been convicted. She's still in her seat. So we're just watch and see what happens. I invite you guys to, we invite you guys to leave comments. If you've got, read some of these articles. Again, get involved, get in the know. Kerrina and I are here every other Friday. And we just talk about these cases and our opinions. We could do this all day, but I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us for the little time that you did. I encourage you to follow us on our social media pins. You can follow me at Tope and Associates and Kerrina at Cape Financial on Instagram, right? And LinkedIn. You can follow her on LinkedIn, Kerrina. is very active on LinkedIn. I am not. Um, but that's all right. So you guys were, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us. I encourage you to follow, share. If you have any comments, any questions, go ahead and leave those in the comment section. We'd love to communicate with you and see what your thoughts are. And we look forward to seeing you guys again. In the next Friday after next, okay?
Yeah.
Anything you want to add, Karina?
Nope. Have a great
No, that's
Happy
it.
New
All
Year.
right, you guys. Thank you for hanging out with us. Y'all have a good one.